Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. I wanted to do a video showing off all the high rank female armor in the game, not because I want to share spoilers, because this video will contain spoilers, so leave now if you don't want to see them, but for a few reasons. One, a lot of people were asking for it. I think some people are just curious and they don't mind knowing what monsters are in the game. Some may be, people who are going to get the game soon and they can't decide if they want to make a male or female hunter and they want to use some of the armor sets as a base to decide that. Also because I want to sort of call out some of the criticism I've seen online saying that a lot of the female outfits are incredibly revealing. But that's not the case, actually. I mean, there are a few that are, visually a little bit more saucy, but for the most part, I think Capcom did a good job of including many armors that did not go over the top. Now, the armor, as I'm going to show you now, is, I say all the armor, I'm pretty sure I'm not missing any in my list, but I could be wrong. And of course, as the game goes on, they'll be adding in new monsters and DLC and events, so there'll be even more armor added to the game. During it, I will talk a little bit about the skills you see on the right-hand side here, but not a whole lot, but just a few notes. So if, for example, you're using a specific weapon, why is this one part in this one set really good? Again, I can't do this video without accidentally revealing some of the monsters they haven't talked about. It's just not possible for me to gray out everything on the screen every time it pops up, and I'll probably end up making a mistake. So I did label this video as containing spoilers, so please, please, please don't watch this video if you don't want spoilers. Now, I will give a heads up before we get into our first spoiler, so if you just want to watch the first portion, sort of get an idea, and then just pull out before the spoiler part, then you can do that as well. Just keep an ear out. Okay, so let's get started. Here is Leather Alpha. And here is Leather Beta. Again, the only difference between Alpha and Beta is that Alpha uses all the available decoration slots and fills them in with skills that the armor chooses, or if you want, you can take the much less robust Beta set and have open slots to play around with decorations, so it's up to you. Here's Chainmail A, or Alpha. Chainmail Beta, just a little bit darker color there. Hunter's A. I definitely like to use the helm here, I think it is. Not the helm, where is it? This one right here, the waist, it has Master Gatherer. I definitely have this on my gathering set, so it is very fun to use. Sorry. Here is the Beta. Bone A. And Bone B. The Alloy Alpha. I know, it's so revealing, right? The Beta. And this is the set I want to talk about, which is the Butterfly set. Now, there are two ways to get the ingredients needed to make this. Let's go and find the list here. Right here. So if you notice, it has the Great Hornfly. The Great Hornfly, there's two ways. Very late in the game, you have the fishing captain from the Argosy, I believe. He comes in and he has trade items that you can purchase. For that, if you request that he brings in materials instead of the other stuff, he has a rare chance of bringing in a Great Hornfly. The best way to get it in the way that I got it was to cultivate lots of honey. If you cultivate honey and you fertilize it well, you have a rare chance of getting some hornflies in with your honey shipments. The reason why this set, well, really this headpiece is going to be so noteworthy is that you're going to see this on a lot of mixed sets, because that headpiece, if you look at the Beta, it gives you evasion level 2 straight out of the box and a decoration slot. That's awesome, and that's on the head. So evasion is what makes it so that you have more invincibility frames when you evade. So if you want to have like a switch axe set with evasion 3 and evade distance 3, sharpness plus 2 or whatever, you're probably going to see this headpiece come up quite a bit. So I definitely think it's worth investing trying to cultivate honey and get some hornflies. Let's go back. Another good thing that it has is, if you notice, two of the pieces of armor have quick sheath. So this might be a really good thing if you're into critical draw sets for Greatsword. Here's the Beta. And I did look into it. If you strengthen this to its max, one piece of armor is 64 defense. And even the late game Odogaron, which I use, is only 10 points higher at 74. So I actually think that it's very viable for endgame, especially given the skills that it can give. We got Vespoid. Here's the beta. Hornator. Reminds me a lot of the Celtis. Again, horribly revealing, I know. Mosswine Mask. This is just a headpiece. Look at the physics on the nose. It's so freakish, isn't it? And that's if you want Mushromancer, which is now a 3-level skill, which allows you to eat mushrooms for pretty much and turn them into rare items. Very, very cool. Here's the Kestodon arms. There's really nothing to look at. It's just an arm piece. Turn it around though, just in case. The Kestodon beta. Gajao A legs. And these are just single pieces that you get from small monsters, just if you want a specific skill like this aquatic expert. Shamos with the shades. Yo, too cool to mess with the Shamos, man. The beta. And Jagras. Now I do want to note one thing is the piece over here. Where is it? This one right here, you can either get on beta with a slot, or if you want speed eating, which is nice because you can eat potions fast. Fortify is an incredible skill. It's going to be on my beginner tips video when I get around to making that. Basically, it's only level 1, so just have it on one piece and it's active. Every time you cart, your attack goes up by 10% and defense by 15%. This can happen up to twice, which makes you much more stronger than you were before it activated. Now you can use this during expeditions as well, meaning that you can go and cart twice, become a super buffed up hunter, and then do free hunting. So if you're trying to farm a monster and you're having a hard time and it's not a main quest, like an assignment, Fortify is an awesome skill for making it much easier. I imagine some people might have a strategy of literally going in, bombing themselves to death, activating Fortify level 2, and then going in and starting to do free hunt. And here is the beta. And Kuluyaku. You can tell they spent a lot of time and energy on the sets for the new monsters. They're really interesting. V. Tsuzuyaku. Not much of a difference between the alpha and the beta for these guys. The Gyros. This set is really funny looking, isn't it? The whole gas mask and everything, because, you know, it's down there in the veil. Here's the beta. This one I find cute, the Pukepuke. This is the beta. Baroth. Not a very attractive set, but this is one that is a staple for Lancers early in the game because it has some pieces with guard. Like the head alone has guard level 2. Guard level 3 and above is really great. 5, you can take on Nergigante's final attack and still survive without losing much of any health. So definitely a cool piece if you are into lancing. Here is the beta. We got Anjanath. Very cool. And we have the beta. Now one thing we will go over and note is the set bonuses. So now we get out of mixed sets, so to say. We get more into full set bonuses where you get a special skill if you have 2 or 4 or more pieces of armor. I love that they did 4 because you'll often have in Monster Hunter where you want a different helm or something, like some of the special ones, but if you lose the entire set bonus, that would stink. So they did a really good job of designing it this way. So you get Adrenaline, and for 4 pieces you get Stamina Cap Up. Not the best skills out there. Geratodus, another incredibly revealing outfit. Geratodus Beta. Tobi Kadachi, this is another set I really like the appearance of. This is going to be really good, I think, for both Insect Glaive and also Light Bowgun or something like that, because you have, for example, these things Jump Master, so it prevents knockback during jumps, Evade Extender, so you can jump out of the way further, but it's also really good because it's got level 2 version of that as well. So yeah, that's going to be really good for, I think, for gunning, so you can evade and get really out of the way of a monster with a really low risk. This is the beta. Paolumu. Paolumu has a piece that's going to be very hot, I think, for gun lancers, which is this one right here, the arms. Gives artillery level 2, which is almost a max out thing for the skill. Increases your gun lance shells, and if you're at the charge blade, it does also increase the power of your charge files. Very interesting. The Paolumu beta. The Rathian alpha. The beta. Okay, and I'm going to warn you right now once more that we are starting to get into some monsters that may not have been revealed yet. So if you're still playing the game and you really want a surprise, please stop watching the video now. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. If you're okay though, stick around and we're going to go through all of these. I'll give you one more warning before we get to the final boss on the screen. So if you don't care about some of the smaller monsters, so to say, that they haven't announced, but you don't want the last boss spoiled, then you can pull out from there as well. So I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here comes spoilers. We got the pink Rathian, which is the Wrath Heart. Very nice looking set. And we have the beta. Now if you notice, for the Rathian you do not get a set bonus, but you do get one for the Wrath Heart. For what that is 3 or more pieces. It'll extend the duration of your poison's effect on monsters. It's especially good if you're going up against someone like Uragaan, who's always been classically weak against poison. That'll keep them poisoned, thus doing more damage. Here's Radoban. Here's the beta. The Gastrodon. This is just a helm. This is a small monster in the final map. It has blast resistance and flinch free. You can become your own little lion. Even has a beta. We've got the Barnos. Another small monster. This is just the chest. And a beta for that as well. Dodogama, who is that little dodo guy in the final map. This is a really nice set if you use blast weapons. So I use a bunch of this on my lance set because if you notice here, the chest gives blast attack level 2. This will make the blast on your weapon more powerful. So very nice. Okay, here's the beta. This also appears to have artillery as well if you're interested. We have this Zora Magdoros set. It's very neat. And the mastery set for this one is 3 or more pieces, and you get critical status. So this increases the effect damage of paralysis, poison, sleep, or blast when landing critical hits. Not a very good skill in my opinion. It's way too limiting. What you gonna do? Lots of skills though, like on the armor set. This is the beta. Looks very medieval in a way. We have the high metal A. High metal B. Ingot A. Again, hardly sets that you're going to want to make the full set, but the pieces here and there could be interesting and or easy to make as you go through high rank. It's the feline head. That's scary looking, isn't it? That gives Palico Rally level 3. Increases your Palico's attack by 15% and their defense. It's pretty powerful. Kind of freaky looking though. You have the Strategist. This is just glasses on your hunter. If you want critical eye, Level 2, so plus 6 affinity, so that's a really good piece. Labasioth. So if you're doing fire attacks, this seems to be the set to go for. This is the beta. Again, come on. Female armor doesn't look strong and gaudy and cool. Give me a break. See, Odogaron, this is the set that I think a lot of people are going to use because its elemental weaknesses are really strong for late game monsters. Because it doesn't have any minus in dragon defense, it's got plus 10 in fire, and it's got some really good skills that go with a lot of weapons. And of course the ninja design is really cool. So here we go, the Odogaron Mastery number 2. For 2 or more parts will give you Punishing Draw, good for a greatsword. And 4 or more will give you Protective Polish, so if you sharpen your weapon, you won't lose sharpness for an entire minute. So if you have a weapon with really strong attack power but low sharpness, sharpen once and you're ready to go. And that's great because this gives you speed sharpening, which means you only have to hit your blade shing just once and you're ready to go. Also gives Critical Eye. Level 5, so yeah, this thing's really good. Just good for dealing damage. Okay, here comes another spoiler. This is the Wrath Soul, or the Azure Rasalotes set. This is the beta. You start to get into more specific skills here for gunning. For example, this free element and ammo up, and also piercing shots, level 1. So this increases the power of piercing ammo and dragon piercer. So for those of you who like to gun, that could be good. You know, Diablos. And Diablos does have a mastery set. 2 or more gives you Bludgeoner, so it increases your attack as you go lower in sharpness. Traditionally, it's been a decent boost, but not enough to make you change your weapons. And then this is awesome, but 4 or more pieces gives you non-elemental boost. I actually have this as a decoration, which is really rare. But it's only 1 level, you put it on, and it basically gives your weapon more attack power if it has no element, including blast, and probably status elements as well. I've noticed they count as a non-elemental weapon as well. It's the beta. This is the Black Diablos, another unannounced monster. That was a very nice surprise. Notice a lot of focus on these, so this might be good for you greatsword users. Same mastery set. We have Uragaan. It's part breaker, so if you're farming monsters for their head or something like that, that could be really good. Also has guard, so very good for probably a lancer. And it's 3 or more pieces and you get guard up, which allows you to guard against stuff that you normally can't block. I haven't run into any other pieces with this skill really, so this is good if you want to block impossible stuff. But honestly, with guard level 5 and power block, I haven't really run into anything yet that will kill me. Another unannounced monster, which is Basil. So Basil Geese is the new sort of blast dragon who just comes in and just charges you during the middle of a hunt. Sort of like Devil Joe in a way. He's got a armor skill which is 3 or more pieces, which is Guts, which allows you to take sort of like a one hit that would kill you if you have a lot of health, and leave you with a little smidget left. This also gives you earplugs level 5. Shows you how annoying this thing is. Here's the beta. The Damascus set. Defense boost, iron skin, and focus, so heavy power, or defense I mean. Looks pretty cool. You got the Dober set. Very tribal thingy going on there. Here's the beta. We have the Death Stench set. This is a really interesting one. This is for people who want to hunt and kill a lot of dragons. Increases your dragon attack up. Here's the beta. Again, if you're seeing the pattern here, is that a lot of this armor is not revealing. This is skull. Aurix Gaming will be very happy for this. It's the skull head, but instead of torso up, it just gives you handicraft, which increases your sharpness. Show that off. Then we have Nergigante. This is the alpha. And the beta. And he's got an interesting skill, which is 3 or more pieces, and it regenerates your health as you continually attack a monster. That I really want to see. This reminds me of Honing in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, where you attack and you'll gain back health as you do more damage, and the amount that you get back is different for every weapon. That's really cool. Only 3 or more, so you don't really need a full set. Maximum might, so if your stamina is full, you get affinity by 30%. It's very neat. Then we got Teostra, the regal elder dragon. Here is the beta. And 3 or more pieces of Teostra will give you Master's Touch. Will prevent you from losing sharpness during critical hits. This I imagine we're going to see on some speed runs, where they're going to find a way to lock down a monster and keep attacking, and they won't lose sharpness because of this technique. That, or they'll use Odogaron not to lose sharpness. Here's a Kushala, who always has traditionally had sharpness extending skills, so that's no surprise there that we've got handicraft and evasion skills. It's going to be very hard to farm this monster though. 3 or more, and you get the Nullify Wind Pressure, which is quite convenient if you're going up against Kushala. So in the middle of farming him, I guess you can do that. Some of you actually asked me why I say Kushala is a him, not a her. It's because during Monster Hunter Generations, when they showed Gammoth, they said that this is the first female flagship. But Kushala is a flagship monster, so that pretty much confirms that it's a male. Val Hazak. This is the zombie dragon. See here, lots of dragon attack and peak performance and stuff like that. I really like this set. It looks like you're at a gothic funeral or something. It's a cool set. And it's got a 3 or more piece thing called Super Recovery, which allows you to exceed the red portion of the health gauge. I haven't tried that out in action yet. Okay, now we're going to show off the last boss, so if you're fine with everything up until now, but you don't want to know about the last boss, change the video right now. I'm waiting. Waiting. Okay, so the last boss is Xeno'jiiva. Just show off this set here. Very cool. Here comes the beta. Then Xeno has a 3 or more skill called Razor Sharp or Spare Shot. So this halves the amount that your sharpness gets lost, and for bows and bow guns, it means that sometimes when you use an ammo or you use a coating, you get it for free. So I like how they mix those together. Flinch free, I wonder if that works for online. That could be the thing to go for if you are a Lancer playing with, friends that are longsword users. Who knows? But very cool. And then finally we have Dragon King, which is just a mixed set of certain items. And this is just an eye patch. And this is awesome because it gives weakness exploit level 2 in just 1 piece of armor. Again, goes really well with the Odogaron set because that's a set that focuses on raising your affinity and doing critical hits and not losing sharpness, so there's a natural synergy there. So that's that. So what did you guys think? Overly revealing outfits? Cool designs? Lackluster designs? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. And if there's any other sets in here that I don't have in my list, please feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I would love to know. And I hope you guys now have a better idea of which other arms are in the game. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, happy hunting.